Konami has just announced a brand new core booster set that could potentially the the game's meta for the next 5 years to potentially the next decade. The name of the booster set is known as Burst Protocol. This set will be released in the OCG on October 25th of this year, which means that in the TCG we could potentially be getting it sometime in 2026. So that means that this set is definitely going to be the set that will alter the game's meta for the foreseeable future. This will feature brand this will feature, much like any other core set, brand new archetypes and new support for archetypes that desperately need it, and we might even see something from the recent short anime known as Yu-Gi-Oh card game The Chronicles, which I don't believe they've released a new episode as of yet. I'm gonna check on. Not yet. In fact, I believe we should. In fact, we should be expecting a new episode in the next sometime in the next few days, I believe. Yeah, I believe we should be expecting a new episode in the next few days. Yeah, I would say at least within the next few days that we should be expecting a new episode of Yu-Gi-Oh card game The Chronicles. So let's talk about Burst Protocol and what we could expect from this set. So Burst Protocol again as I stated has the potential to completely alter the game's meta for the foreseeable future, potentially in the next 5 years, maybe even for the next decade. There have been multiple sets throughout Yu-Gi-Oh's history that had that. Excuse me. That had that potential, and it lived up to the hype. Booster sets such as Magic Ruler, where it featured three of the most dominant hand ripping cards in existence. That being Confiscation, Delinquent Duo, and if I remember correctly, there was one other one. I just can't put my finger on it. I can't really. Oh my god, there was another one. It was Confiscation, Delinquent Duo, and there was something else. There was something else. I completely forgot what that third one was, but it did end up ultimately changing the meta for a very long while. There was also booster sets like Pharaoh's Servant that brought in cards like Gravity Bind, Call of the Haunted, Imperial Order, and even cards like Jinzo, which even Jinzo just completely decimated the meta for a long while before ultimately getting limited to one later on in the meta's history. But now it's perfectly fine at 3 copies, and you only see it as a one of in side decking. So what other sets were there? There were Invasion of Chaos. Yeah, Chaos Emperor Dragon, Blacklisted Soldier, D-Mock. Enough said. And of course, the most notorious booster set of all time, Phantom Darkness, which brought in the deck known as Teledad, but we had to wait for Duel's Genesis to get released, which we did get that set released less than 7 months later, which was just a crazy deck. This excuse me, this booster set has the potential, and I've said this a few times, and I know I said this multiple times in this video, but it has the potential to completely decimate the meta to its very core. Because right now, as we speak, post nationals, post nationals, which is the World Championship qualifier, Malice right now is the most dominant deck in the game's history, with the fact that you can, all you need is one card, which could be a spell, it could be a monster. All you need is one card, and you immediately have full combo. You can just combo off and make your board like the most deadly board in existence with like I think it was like what, 30 negates. Just negate everything, and your opponent can't do jack shit. So the only way that you could bypass all that shit is if you had cards is if you cited in cards like Raigeki, Dark Hole, Harpy's Feather Duster, and even also Dark Ruler No More. Excuse me. If you were to use those cards, then you do have the potential to theoretically full combo yourself. But let's be real, Malice is just too much of a cancer to ever be played again in this current format. So I'm assuming that we'll probably get a ban list, possibly right before Worlds, which should be in about 2 to 3 months from now, I believe. So it'll be very interesting, to say the very least. But with this said, there are so many different archetypes that could potentially be like the cover archetype for this set. When I think of the word burst, I think of archetypes like the Cybers deck, the Firewall Dragon deck. That's one thing that comes into mind. When I think of Protocol, again, definitely potentially new cyber support. There could potentially be some new salad support, which isn't too far off, because I know that we just got new support for salad in oh my god, what's the boost? I have it here. Fury of Fire, I think it's the set name. Legendary Duel. Soul Burning Volcano. Legendary Duelist Soul Burning Volcano was the booster set that featured new support for 3 fire archetypes, which were Salad, Volcanic, and Battling Boxer, which that one was just unexpected. So it's possible that we could potentially see new Firewall support. We could see potentially some new Salad support. When I think of Protocol, maybe Sky Striker. I mean, I know that it's a bit of a far gone idea, because Sky Striker hasn't had any support since Magnificent Mavens, and that was released like what, a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, if I remember right. Still have yet to open up that set. I've looked almost everywhere, and every single time, just for one mini box, it's like $60 for one mini box. So yeah, that's yeah. Not even. I'm just gonna move on from that. Anyway, again, we haven't had any Sky Striker support since Magnificent Mavens, when it introduced us to a brand new card that completely altered the deck's the deck's meta relevance, that would be Sky Striker Mobilized Linkage, which basically allows you to link summon multiple times during the battle phase, and it's not a hard once per turn. It is literally a soft once per turn, meaning you can use it over and over again, and you basically just FTK your opponent out of their fucking minds. So yeah, and I know because I fell victim. I fell victim to that very same card on Master Duel multiple times, and it's not fun. It's not fun. Best thing to do is just scoop. Every time your opponent adds linkage to their hand off of engage, you know damn well they're gonna try to FTK you. Best thing to do is to either just scoop or to prevent your opponent from even playing it at all by using some sort of excuse me, or by using some sort of spell negation, if you will. But Burst Protocol again. Salad could potentially be one archetype that we could expect to see. Firewall Dragon base decks we could potentially see. Sky Striker. I know that there are some archetypes that desperately need new support. Lightsworn is definitely one that comes into mind. I know that we haven't had any Lightsworn support in a very long time, so I know that archetype is definitely on the horizon of getting new support. I know that Red Eyes hasn't had any support in quite some time. I know that Dark Magician just got new support in the Tactical Tri-Pack booster set, which is an OCG product, which I don't think we'll be getting that set in the TCG for a while, unless if they release a new like Maze of Millennia booster set, in which case those cards may get implemented into that set, which honestly I'm okay with. I am perfectly okay with that. But what else could we expect? Excuse me. What's another cyberspace deck? Ignisters definitely is another one that comes into mind. Maybe Subterror. I know that Subterrors hadn't gotten support in quite some time. In fact, I think the last bit of support that we got for them was, I think, about 3 years ago, if I remember right. It's been quite some time. I'm pretty sure it was like 3 years ago, but I will say, no matter what archetype becomes the cover of this booster set, it's going to alter the game's meta for a very long time, simply just because of the fact that Malice has now become the deck to beat in the format. Ryziel is still pretty viable. Kashtira is still going strong. Tearlament is still going strong. Rescue Ace, Snake Eye is still running strong. I know that on Master Duel there's a new one called Fiendsmith Ubel. Even that deck is just a nasty one to attempt to defeat. And I remember yesterday on Simo's Master Duel Masochist, he actually beat Fiendsmith Ubel using a Naturia Kragan pendulum deck that has won him quite a few matches over the last few weeks, and that deck was able to defeat Fiendsmith Ubel, which is very, very insane. Again, I'm not entirely sure like what other archetypes could potentially be in this set, but there are others that there are new archetypes that I definitely believe should make their way into the booster set, and one of them is obviously Valen's armor cards from the Waking the Dragons arc of the DM anime. That is an archetype that fans have been clamoring to see for for the last 2 decades. For the last 2 decades, ever since that season got released, fans all over the world have been asking for Konami to produce Valen's armor cards to light, like literally bring those cards to light. It is very possible because of the fact that deck, imagine how powerful that deck could be in today's meta. It's possible that it can completely decimate the meta, just like Malice has decimated the meta, but we don't really know for sure. Again, it's still mere speculation, but there is more speculation that we could potentially see again, as I stated earlier, Sky Striker could potentially become the archetype that can headline this booster set, which is possible, but we will have to wait and see. I will. My God, guys, I don't know. This has been very confusing because again, there are so many different possibilities, different possible archetypes that could potentially get new support. Rockets. Rockets is another one that comes into mind. I know that some people are have been saying that are saying that we should be getting new Cyber Dragon support, which honestly is not the worst idea, but it's not the best idea ever either, because Cyber Dragon, it's more of a tier 2, tier 3 deck, so it's pretty viable. But if you don't have the right combination of cards in your opening hand, it essentially becomes a brick, and you just end up having to scoop. So it's a bit of a stretch. I know that some people have been saying that the new Dark Magician support could make its way into this core booster set, which is very possible, but only time will tell. But I will close out the video by saying this: whatever archetype headlines this booster set, I can guarantee you that the meta as we know it now will be altered drastically, the same way that it was altered when Lord of the Tachyon Galaxy was released in 2013, 2014, which introduced us to the Dragon Rulers, which that altered the meta's relevance for literally a very long time. So we will have to wait and see. Obviously, we won't be expecting any of the new cards to be revealed until sometime next month, potentially next month. So be sure to get ready for that wave of videos. It's gonna be insane. But with that being said, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more Yu-Gi-Oh topic videos in the future, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all my social media. All of my ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.